there isn't one shoe that's appropriate for every foot. Okay, so let's just start by saying that, right? Feet come in all different shapes and sizes. But one thing we want to be mindful of is that whatever the shoe is you're wearing, that your foot is inside the shoe for good. Meaning a slide, okay? We love flip-flops, we love slides, slippers. Those are really a little bit of a risk and not particularly supportive. And because your foot is not stable in the shoe, it actually becomes a little bit of a fall hazard more than it becomes a help. So you want to make sure that whatever shoe you are wearing has some back, that your foot is in the shoe either through a back strap or an actual full shoe counter. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're not sliding, because when we wear slides, we curl our toes to keep our feet inside the shoe. And then that ends up becoming counterproductive, especially if they're not fitted properly. So whatever shoe you are wearing, you want to make sure that your foot is in there and supported with a back strap or a counter. You want to make sure that the front of the shoe, the toe box, is wide enough to accommodate all of your toes, that we're not taking round toes and putting them into pointy shoes. And we also want to make sure that that front of the shoe is high enough for you if you have some issues with your toes where perhaps they're curled, or there's some, you might have hammer toes or some other deformities there that are not, I don't want to call them deformities, some other asymmetries there, so that you are accommodating. You don't want the joints in your feet to be rubbing up against the tops of your shoes. So you want to make sure the shoe is wide enough and also tall enough to accommodate the size of your toes and your feet.
And to add on to that, I would say that if you're someone who has bunions, if you're someone who has hammer toes, if you have more of a collapsed arch, those are things that really, it would be helpful for you to have your foot assessed by a podiatrist, because, or a foot and ankle surgeon, only because getting the right adapted shoe, I think it really makes all the difference in the world. No one wants to spend all day in a tennis shoe except for me. I will do that. But one of the things that with most tennis shoes is that they are adaptable, they are adjustable, and so the footprint that you leave when you're barefoot and you see, that if your arch is collapsed, you need to support it. If your arch is really high and your toes are really curled, you need to have something that's going to support your foot, so that it's not a trip hazard. So the best thing I can tell you is to have your, if you want to go online and do a foot assessment, you can use Google and say, what's, how would I assess my type of shoe? There's a, I'm going to say roadrunnersports.com is an athletic shoe company. And one of the things that they do is they have what's called a shoe finder, and they will ask you the questions, that help you to choose a tennis shoe, for example. So there's plenty of brands out there that are very supportive. The hottest brand right now is Hoka's. Everybody's buying a Hoka shoe, and there's different reasons for Hoka's. But again, one shoe does not fit every foot, in terms of functional purpose. So you have to really have it assessed.